Lead the Way, a podcast for school leaders with author, speaker, and educator, Dr. Bill Ziegler.
Today, I'd like to welcome Joe Schroeder, Associate Executive Director of the Wisconsin School Administrators and author of Labor of Love. Joe, why don't you give us a little bit of your background? You were a school leader and a district leader. Tell us a little bit about what you've done in schools.
Sure. I've been in education for 30 years, most of that as a building principal or a district level leader. So 10 years as a high school principal in AP, and then also 7 years at the system level as either director of instruction and superintendent.
So tell us about, you wrote the book Labor of Love, and our listeners can find it on Amazon under Labor of Love. Tell us why you wrote this to inspire school leaders. You know,
we have really a focus on the intellect in our work. You know, what are the strategies or practices or approaches that are research-based and show efficacy and impact and all that, which are really important. At the same time, we all know that the leader's journey is really one at least as much of the heart and soul as it is of the intellect. And so I really wrote this to share strategies I had found over time to not go it alone, to really try to take in the wisdom of the ages, and to really tend to my heart and soul along my long and arduous leadership journey so that I could, at the end of that journey, still have lots more to give and not feel like I had somehow drifted away from my original purpose or my ability to originally to have such a deep passion for what I was doing.
Yeah, Joe, I so agree with you. It can be tiring as a school leader. So what advice would you give a school leader to stay encouraged every day to do great things for kids?
Some of this is around self-care, right? So it's kind of the oxygen mask principle of you have to build in habits of taking care of yourself, tending to what really makes you whole. And so for me, that was getting up early and exercising, engaging in some scripture or prayer, certainly spending time with my family, all those things that sharpen my saw or that keep me whole, because I'm no good to the rest if I'm not taking care of myself, especially at a sustainable level. And we all know that the big impact on kids and on staff is when you are providing sustainable, robust leadership, not just for a short period of time.
Yeah, that's so true. Put our oxygen mask on before we put those on of our children. And sometimes that's hard for us to understand, but it's important to do that. Tell us a little bit about your book, Labor of Love, and why you wrote it.
Well, it's a book that tries to offer wisdom of the ages, primarily from a Christian perspective. It shares 26 topics of leadership, things like courage or humility or patience or fortitude. And, you know, just you can imagine the scope of what it's involved in being a leader from someone who's done the job for 3 decades. And with those topics, tries to tap into some of the wisdom, have reflection around that in ways that actually can either prepare someone for the things they need for a day, like, for example, say, I know I need courage today because of what I have on my agenda or what I'm anticipating is coming my way when I get into the office. So I'm going to start my day by really tapping into that and being reflective about that so I'm ready for it. And on the other hand, it might be something not so much just for a day, but maybe just in general. I know that I need to become a more patient leader, or maybe a more affirming leader, or maybe someone who has a little bit more tolerance for differences of opinion. But whatever it might be, that I need to work on that, almost like a leadership muscle, and a muscle of how I am and how I present myself. And so the Labor of Love book is also meant to provide ways to daily tap into those things where with ongoing effort, you will begin to change and be a different person in the areas that will better have you impacting things as you would like them to be impacted.
Joe, you talk about courage as a leader. What's one example or one strategy that school leaders can work to develop courage as a school leader?
Don't do it alone. So connect in ways like in this case, with resources and wisdom of the ages, with time to reflect about the matters that matter, to engage with other professionals and other people and other servant leaders from other walks of life as well. Things like your show here, just ways to continue to feed the well and to replenish the well that's so much needed for leaders to do good work.
Awesome, Joe. It's been great to have you on Lead the Way. We look forward to your work in Wisconsin. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do up in Wisconsin for school leaders.
Well, our job is to help develop and sustain leaders who can meet the needs of every student in Wisconsin, and that's our aim, that's our goal, and we continue to try to get better at what we do around those aims.
I love what you guys do in Wisconsin. Thanks for your hard work. Continue to encourage and inspire school leaders to do great things. And Joe, it's been great to have you on Lead the Way.
You've been listening to Dr. Bill Ziegler with Lead the Way. Bill has great resources for school leaders at chaselearning.org. That's chaselearning.org. Thanks for listening to Lead the Way with Dr. Bill Ziegler.